The story starts with B, who, as you see, is a ghost. But that's not the worst. The problem is she's trapped in her house. Whenever she tries to leave, an invisible barrier stops her. Fortunately, she doesn't have to share the house with anyone, as she herself takes care of scaring off potential buyers. Until one day, a young man moves in without the prior visit of the real estate agent. The young man, named Cole, only saw the price of the house, which had been reduced more than a dozen times for supposedly being haunted, and decided to accept it. B now has a young man her age living in her house, and though she initially wanted to scare him away, it's the first time someone young has entered, so curiosity about Cole begins to invade her. While Cole arranges his things in the closet, he accidentally hits the wall with his shoe and discovers a secret door. Inside, there is a red book that looks like it is hundreds of years old. The cover is beautiful, and inside there are photos of B, one for each of her birthdays, allowing Cole to see how she grew into a beautiful teenager. However, after that there are no more photos because at the age of 18, he passed away. And the rest of the spaces are empty. Suddenly, the book slams shut, and every time Cole tries to open it again, it happens again, until a ring flies out from the spine of the book and falls to the floor. Having fallen on the carpet, the ring makes no noise and the young man doesn't notice. But the next morning, while getting ready to leave, he ends up stepping on it and, after overcoming the initial pain, picks it up from the floor. It is a gold ring with 4 precious stones that shine even without direct light. Its glow is hypnotizing and Cole can't resist putting it on, but as soon as he does, he hears B's voice right behind him. When he turns around, he sees the girl from the photo. B is very happy because Cole can see her, but fear forces him to take off the ring. At that moment, he runs to check the book and compares the ghost he just saw with the girl in the photo. After a few minutes, he puts it on again and B is still there. She begs him not to take it off. It's been more than 100 years since she was able to talk to someone. She tells him a bit of her story to calm him down and make him understand that she won't harm him. It turns out that on her 18th birthday, she went to the National Museum for a tour and saw that ring in an exhibit and stole it. She didn't expect anything bad. She was captivated by its shine. But as soon as she left the museum, a car hit her. When she woke up, she was home. At that moment, she thought she was lucky to still be alive. But when she tried to leave, she ran into the barrier and it took her a while to realize that she was actually dead and trapped in the house. After what feels like an eternity of talking, the young man tells Cole he needs to focus on his homework and removes the ring. He doesn't want to be friends with a ghost, but Bean won't leave him alone. She hasn't spoken to anyone in a century. Once you start, it's impossible to stop. While the young man tries to do his homework, Bean keeps asking about the artist posters on the walls, and they discover they both love music. B grew up in a conservatory, where he can play many instruments. In Cole's case, his love for guitars is innate, and now they have a topic of conversation that they both enjoy. She begs him to play something for her, but he refuses. V doesn't give in until the boy confesses that he hasn't played his guitar since his father passed away. Angry, he removes the ring and stores it in his drawer, ignoring V for the day. The next morning, while having breakfast with his mother, the Soul Shaker floats. It's V trying to get his attention, and he does everything possible so his mother doesn't notice. He immediately goes up to his room, puts on the ring, and explains it to V. This is the only house his mother could afford after his father's death. It's their only chance to start over, but if she finds out there's a ghost, she'll run away and they won't have anywhere to push it up to anything else. But only if Cole promises not to take off the ring. They're in this together and he'll have to put up with her to be able to live there. Once they promise to chat for -1 hour daily, Cole tells her all about the outside world and she is amazed by every detail. One afternoon, V realizes she can stick her hand out the window and quickly gets up to the door. It turns out that with Cole, she can go outside. Thus, it's time to take a walk and see everything that has been missed during this century she has been locked away. From self-driving cars to new music that seems unfamiliar, everything is extraordinary for B. However, what surprises her the most is Google. The ability to see everything that has happened in the last century and have access to all that information consumes her 4 hours, until night falls and they return home. Before Cole goes to bed, B begs him to take her to school tomorrow, but he's unsure. If seen talking to himself, it will be a disaster. Though Cole refuses, B follows him. The next day, while walking through the school halls, Lydia, his crush, hears him talking to himself and asks if he's crazy. Unable to invent a believable lie because V keeps whispering in his ear, Cole breaks his promise and removes the ring, freeing himself from V for a few seconds to chat with Lydia. Lydia notices the ring and asks where he got it. Cole tells the truth. He found it in his attic and only wears it because it looks cool. However, Lydia is left with the image of the ring. She knew she had seen it before and escapes from school straight to her parents' antique shop. There she finds a book where she sees the same ring. It was created by a pharaoh for his wife, who wanted them to be together even after death, which is why it's called the Ring of the Mortal Lovers, and it has a twin. The legend says that whoever dares to separate the rings will die in a horrible way, and their soul will be trapped in the astral plane until the rings are united again. Thus, it is revealed that V only stole part of the ring. In reality, it is a double ring. The next day, Lydia tells Cole everything, and he admits a ghost has haunted him since he wore the ring. Lydia shows him the other part is about to be auctioned. If they reunite both parts, the ghost will leave him and move on. Excited, Cole returns home to tell V that she could be free, but upon arriving, he discovers that she has decorated her entire room as if it were a stage. She wants to hear him sing, and Cole lacks the courage to tell her the truth now. So he just plays his guitar for her, sparking a very romantic moment. For a moment, the boy thinks V enjoys her life as a ghost, and maybe doesn't want to break the curse. So he says nothing that night. A few days later, Cole receives a message from Lydia asking if he bought the ring at the auction, but he completely forgot and it was sold to someone else. B notices his strange behavior and asks what's going on. Feeling trapped, Cole confesses everything about the curse that keeps her captive and the possibility of being free. At first, B is excited. She's been trapped for so long, and now there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But then she realizes that Cole knew this for days and didn't tell her. Furious, she confronts him for lying. She's not his friend. She imagines that he's only there when he needs her. She was a real person with friends and family. He has no idea what it was like to see them die and stay young and sad for years. After the argument, Cole finally realizes his mistake. But the auction is anonymous. No one knows who bought the ring, and now he has lost V's trust forever. She asks him to remove the ring. She no longer wants him as her guardian. But Cole leaves the ring on the school piano. Later that day, Lydia, who came looking for Cole, hears the piano playing by itself and puts on the ring. With a smile, he greets V, admitting that it's not the first time he's seen ghosts trapped in this world. His family has owned an antique shop for many years, and this is more common than you think. That night, Lydia finds Cole, who has key information. The auction house sends items 48 hours after being sold, so the ring must still be in the museum. If they hurry, they might have a chance. But first, Cole has to sincerely apologize to B for lying. Once resolved, they set off for the city. Using her ghost powers, B opens each door without triggering the alarm. In the storage, they find a box with another part of the ring. It shines like its counterpart. At that moment, Cole asks if she's ready. She looks at him lovingly and says yes. But just before removing the ring, she stops him and leans in to kiss him. With this kiss, Cole finishes removing the ring and B disappears. By joining the two parts, the glow fades and Cole returns to the car with Lydia. Upon arriving home, I check the baby photo album. He wants to see her face one last time, but is surprised to see that the empty spaces are now filled. In the new photos, B is shown with her college degree, then meeting the love of her life and getting married. One beautiful house in the countryside, we change the scene to 1920, where we see B with a ring in her hand. The security guard asks her to return it, and she does so with a silly smile and leaves the museum. Outside, she manages to dodge the car that had taken her life before, and with a smile, she continues living her life after an eternity as a ghost. Never steal halfway. Here are some other high stories